Hi all, welcome to the GitLab 13.7 team retrospective summary. I'm Donald Cook from the plan stage. I'll be your host for this video and for the discussion that will take place next week. This one's going to be a little bit lighter retro than previously, just because 13.7 ended toward the end of the year. A lot of people were off for the holidays while we were having the individual team retrospectives. But hopefully we'll still have a decent amount of content to get through. Let's go ahead and get started. Lead off with the agenda. We'll start with praise we have for the teams, what went well, what went wrong, and then what we can improve on. Okay, so the praise you have for your team. Typically, we'd highlight just a few points for each section, but again, since the content was a little lighter this milestone, I'll try to get through everyone's points here. Okay, so back to praise, starting with Jerome from the Growth and Product Intelligence team. He stated that the team has done a tremendous job of building out our analytics tooling and processes over the past few months. We've now passed 1,000 metrics implemented via usage ping, and 280 MRs reviewed by our team. Tiago from Threat Management stated that the vulnerability management category reached viable maturity. A lot of hard work went into this achievement over the past year, and we should celebrate. I agree. Matt from Ecosystem said that after a recent realignment, the team members who were joining a new team felt very welcomed by the existing team members. Thank you for everyone's focus on the belonging value. Finally, Mech from Quality stated that we prevented an S1 regression during our Puma upgrade due to an end-to-end automated test that was added for testing NuGet. Okay, moving on to what went well. We'll go through each of our values that had points, starting with the collaboration value, where Jerome said that we had multiple team pairing sessions this milestone. Also hosted a virtual offsite to improve alignment between the data and product intelligence teams. Jake from Plan said that we had several successful opportunities to collaborate with community contributors to add new features and functionality to GitLab. One standout example is Croaky diagram support. CZ from Global Search said that, led by our PM John, the team released a kickoff video collaboratively. Valerie from UX said that the Auto DevOps Think Big session was a great cross-team collaboration with PM and director participation, leading to a new vision of Auto DevOps. She also stated that the collaboration between PM, UX, and engineering on the Verify PA team is improving. We're continuously working together to evolve the design direction, and UX is currently working about 2 milestones ahead of engineering. Craig from Memory said that our goal for 13.7 was to identify how we would get to our longstanding goal of running GitLab in a memory-constrained environment. During the first week of 13.7, we dedicated a portion of each day with synchronous discussions around ideas, goals, and to expand on issues we created toward that goal. At the end of the week, we ranked and prioritized the issues to be assigned for subsequent milestones. This process was well received by the team and generated a lot of enthusiasm and details on how we can get to our goal of a 2 gigabyte footprint. Moving on to results, Nick from Geo said that we shipped version snippet replication and completed our disaster recovery via a viable maturity epic. Craig said that we have addressed the final remaining tables without a primary key and have unblocked the ability to use logical replication, an important prerequisite for no or minimal downtime, major update to Postgres 12.x. Craig also said that the final updates for supporting automated reindexing have been shipped, and we have already started successfully using our reindexing scripts in production and removing index bloat. Finally, from on the memory side of things, Craig said that enabling query caching for the load balancer yielded some pretty great results. To quote in the comment, this is a superb improvement. Thank you. It's a 10% reduction in TPS across the fleet as measured from Postgres. For the efficiency value, Nick said that we followed up on a previous retro item to have more regular acceptance demos. Douglas and Gabriel walked us through setting up a Patroni standby cluster on a secondary site and Akriti did a demo of the upcoming maintenance mode feature. And then Jake said we were able to effectively use deliverable labels to highlight top product priorities for engineers and ensure we're aligned on our goals. For the iteration value, Kyle from Quality said that the calculation for MRAR was matured with the issue link there, which led to identification of 5.7 million MR dollar from customer contributions. For transparency value, MEC said that we are providing more clarity on what end-to-end QA automated tests are being run and covered as part of every deployment. We now have a test session report that shows what test case ran and its status on each deployment. This will show us in one picture, and then he lists off a few things that this will show us. Okay, moving on to what went wrong. First was on the collaboration side of things. Jake said that the last week of the milestone was very intense and confusing, especially with regards to documentation. We had some confusion around when feature flagged functionality should be documented, as well as when docs should be reviewed. That led to unnecessary stress and crunch. For efficiency, Jake said that life around the holidays can be difficult, and the added stress for some interactions between the pandemic and holidays led us to feel less on top of it than usual. CZ said that it takes time to keep issue descriptions up to date, but it's very important for team-wide efficiency purposes. Matt said that we almost doubled the size of the ecosystem team recently, and 13.7 was the first full milestone for the new team. However, we did not have any kind of transition issue or checklist that team members could follow to get up to speed faster. Team members are still trying to learn about the new area while at the same time trying to deliver new features that are high priority. Mech said that an issue with the Select2 CSS component nearly caused the previous release to be halted. And then he linked the issue there. I also said that Omnibus GitLab mirror pipelines started failing after Webpack assets were missing. For the iteration value, Ricky from Verify Testing said that we've started to get better at breaking out issues, and we are not sure how to proceed into technical investigations and separate implementation issues. However, we aren't doing a good enough job time boxing our investigations, and they tend to drag on. Okay, now what can we improve? For collaboration value, Jake said that we want to improve our collaboration on documentation. Specific goals include always including docs in the same MRs as code. If there are many MRs, then the front-end engineer EM decides which one exposes the feature to the user. For docs reviews, ping the technical writer as soon as there's something to review, not waiting until reviews are done. Then you can ask for another review when other reviews impact the UI or user workflow and docs need to be amended. Tiago stated that the effort and time required to complete issue refinement tests asynchronously can be challenging for engineers to balance with other responsibilities. A suggestion was made to swarm in small groups, tackling the refinement of more complex issues or when a larger number of issues need refinement. For results, Jerome said that our team has been moving quickly, and we're now starting to run into performance, scalability, and efficiency concerns with the amount of metrics we've implemented. We need to spend more time on standardizing tooling, process, and addressing technical debt. And Craig said that tooling. The research into our 2 GB efforts reminded us how difficult it is to measure memory performance in Ruby. Okay, then we have a few for efficiency value here. Nick said that we can do a better job of making sure our team members understand the infrastructure of our staging environment beyond just the geosecondary. Adam from Composition Analysis said that our engineering refinement process allows us to better describe the work to be done. Unfortunately, it happens that issues get worked on several months after being refined, which ends up with outdated information. We should have a refinement threshold, possibly 2 months, and issues that haven't been picked up within this time frame should be re-refined before they're considered ready for development. Part of this could be automated with a GitLab bot to avoid additional manual work. Valerie said that designers are still struggling to keep up with the amount of work they're being asked to take on. We need clear prioritization and need to get better at communicating our capacity with our stable counterparts. Craig said that with the new year, both the memory group and database group have an issue to discuss how we function as a team, what processes we can improve, how we become more efficient as a team, etc. It's an open issue. It's an open issue for anyone to bring suggestions to the table and change how we function as a group rather than simply continuing to do things the way we've always done it. Matt said that the issue triage process for our team could use a better process. We are looking to involve more of the team, and in the next milestone, we plan to document the process in an effort to make sure we have a manageable backlog. Okay, thank you for your time. Please join us for our retrospective discussion. This milestone, it is going to be a little bit later than usual. It'll be next week. It's actually Monday, January 11th, 2021. It's 11 p.m. UTC. It's our first APAC-friendly retrospective, which is great. And that's 3 p.m. Pacific time. Included links to where you can watch it on YouTube or use our internal Zoom link. We've got a couple topics we want to talk about. First one was kind of a rollover from the last milestone that we didn't have an opportunity to get to. That one is, how does your team handle backlog refinement? Let's share tips and best practices with respect to backlog refinement or sprint planning activities. The second topic we'll talk about that a few people brought up in this milestone was that 13.7 was a transition milestone for a few of the newly expanded teams. Are there any learnings to discuss around onboarding new team members? Okay, and then I've included links to the team retrospective issue, the global retro document, and then after the meeting, please feel free to go in and rate how we did. Thank you. See you next week.